You are a free, beautiful, independent and empowered, blessed and beloved child of God. There is no authority above I am my authority unless I harm someone and refuse to be responsible for my actions. That is why we have rights. You have rights as a free, beautiful, blessed and beloved, independent and empowered child of God. And you have all sorts of rights. You have rights to grow your own food. You have rights to build your own shelter. You have rights to get from here to there using rights of way and whatever kind of wheelchair you want, because you have that right, right? Even if your wheelchair looks like a big old diesel pickup or a bicycle or a motorcycle or a car, all of these things, it depends on what we're using them for as to what kind of authority uh, the public servants have over that, right? And in that, that's where we have to recognize something called jurisdiction. So jurisdiction is something that if certain conditions exist, that a certain agency has the right to control that, right, and to regulate it. So, like, if you are carrying passengers or like products or parcels over the roads, like say I'm going to go to the dump, right? And the a person down the road, they say, "Hey, Rob, can I pay you to take these items to the landfill?" And I'd say, "Well, no, because the I don't have the tabs on my vehicle to carry things of somebody else's over the roadway." I guess that's not really actually a good deal, because that could actually be viewed in another way. Say I have a job, Uber delivery, and somebody just calls me up and says, "Hey, you need to go pick up this here and go deliver it somewhere else," right? And so you are carrying something that you have no interest in, right? And so if you are doing that from even like a little car or on a motorcycle or a bicycle, or even a semi truck, you should pay to be using the roads, because you're making money on them. You're using them just to make money. You're not trying to get from here to there in your private travel. You're making money on the roads, and that's the only reason you're there. And so there would be a motivation for you to speed or to carry loads heavier than what your vehicle is rated for, or to do things in a dangerous way um, that would affect other people, right? Because I mean that's why we have government. We have government to protect our rights. But for a long time, our school systems haven't been sufficient in educating us as to what our rights even are, right? Because I was told that you have to have a driver's license to be able to drive on the roadways. And even though that is a completely honest and true statement, we have to understand what the word driving means. Because driving by law means an act of commerce. Whereas traveling over the right of way, I mean, 'cause like I drove a truck on roads before when I was like 12 years old, and I did fine. I didn't run into anybody, and so I was exercising my rights. I wasn't working or exercising a privilege, and so a privilege is something that can be regulated, whereas a right cannot. So like I've got a motorcycle, and if I am traveling on the roads that are designed for 18 wheelers, like big heavy trucks moving 100,000 pounds of whatever they're moving, my motorcycle isn't doing any damage to that roadway, right? And we have the rights to be able to use these roadways because underlying that roadway is called a right of way, right? So, like if I'm going over to my friend's house, I don't know the address to his house, but I know where it is. So I just go on the easiest way to get from here to there, so that way I can exercise my right, right? Because if I was limited to having to pay permission to be able to get over to my friend's house in my powered wheelchair, I, that's nuts. We've created a system that is supposed to serve us, and when or if we have not created any victim with our actions, if we have been self-responsible, we should be able to exercise all of our rights without infringement, without being bothered, without being extorted for money. I'm fighting a $704 ticket right now because I was traveling just to get from here to there in my private business, my private just life, right? And I did have a driver's license and insurance and registration, because if I was using that car in a commercial application, I would have honored the police officer's request for all of my information. But because I wasn't conducting commerce, I didn't. Because we don't live in Nazi Germany. We are supposed to be a free country. And they didn't tase me, and they didn't shoot me, and they didn't drag me out of my car. And I got the FOIA video, and they were even like, why isn't this guy just complying? Why isn't he just, we checked it. I mean, he's got the registration's current. He's got a current driver's license. Even though I didn't tell them my name, they just ran my plates, and then they assumed that I was operating. Even though as soon as he came up to the car, I told him, I'm I'm not operating in traffic. Trafficking, again, that's a definition, meaning commercial use. You're delivering things. You're trafficking things. How much traffic is on the roadway isn't just how many travelers there are. We've been manipulated by our assumption of what words mean. And if we are thinking that a word means something that it doesn't, we might be willing to agree to things that we wouldn't normally agree to. So, this is something that I really feel. And I've got Supreme Court decisions. I'm not really wanting to make a long video right now, but um, I've got it. I've got it everywhere. So we're we're coming together in a way that knowledge is being shared in a way that it will disempower the control network that has been in place for a long time. And it's kind of been tearing people down. It's been promoting separation, it's been promoting fear and war. There is a better way. There is another way. And it's through health, happiness, peace, and abundance in every individual that builds a collective that everyone thrives, because we have the resources. The money has been locked up in certain places, and that's where it stays instead of being used. We have to realize that, at one time, money represented resources, and resources, one of the biggest resources that's being manipulated right now is human energy. I mean, why are we paying so many hours of our days every month to have a place to rest our head, a place to shower, use the bathroom, right? The bird, within just a few days of deciding he needs a nest, he gathers up enough resources that he finds for free, and he assembles a nest in an area that is freely available to him. I've seen some people build some pretty fantastic things just out of recycled wood. And there's truckloads just filling up landfills every day. People destroying buildings instead of recycling them, throwing them away. But where is a way? Is a way somewhere else? Because that somewhere else, it just doesn't make sense, right? I mean, locally is how nature works naturally for everyone everywhere. And when we start working locally and we start recognizing the abundance of our resources that are available to us, we can really start thriving. So anyway, yep. Have a good night. Check out subscribe right here and a video right here that YouTube would like you to watch.